Hey guys, this is day 188. I noticed I was using a lot of filler words and like a lot. So I was like, should I try to not do that? And it's so hard. I did not realize that I talk like this. Maybe even in real life too. It's definitely hard to do talk for 20 minutes sort of on the spot without having those pauses and stutters, but I didn't like it, so I want to try not to. We'll see. It's actually super hard. It's like such a strong habit. It sounds so unnatural when I don't use them, but I will talk about the pulling. I went to practice and I felt okay, a little bit sore, but not too bad. I didn't feel like much better endurance or like much stronger or anything. And I didn't feel much weaker either, just kind of how I would expect to feel after some light training throughout the week. I pulled with this guy here. I'll be honest, I forgot your name, but he keeps calling me, well, last time he called me an ant. And he comes up to me and he goes, "What do you do for your tendons?" He's like, "I don't get how you're so strong." And I'm like, well, why can't I be strong? Well, I don't know, you just are so much stronger than you look. I'm like, well, why can't I look strong? And I was like, well, also, why does my strength have to be tendon? What about everyone else? Are they muscle and mine is tendon? I'm like, why can't my strength also be muscle? Well, the answer is obvious. But is it though? I honestly, I feel like I'm not that small. So it's a little bit crazy. I mean, for sure there are other factors that go into it. People saying that I'm super technical, and I don't care. I think it's really funny. Is 100% more because I'm Korean. That's a fact. And it's not even that deep. It's I'm not I don't consider that a sensitive thing. It's just funny to me, but for sure that's part of it. This time, well, he called me an ant. It was you can lift so much more than your body weight or whatever. You know how ants can lift 1,000 times their body weight or something. And then this week he's calling me a beetle and things like that. But yeah, after I pulled with Lex, he was stonewalling me again, basically. I think I did maybe slightly better than last week. Now I'm curious if I really get super focused and start training for 2 or 3 months, I could actually get back to being able to make him work and sort of see if I can measure my progress that way. It'll be tough, because I'm not sure what the gap is right now. I assume it's not huge because it's not too long ago that I felt it was very close. So, but definitely not this week. I mean, it's just so hard now. It's so easy for him to hook me because his wrist is so strong, and I've never really been able to use my stop on him at all, and he'll say it himself, basically no one can stick him there with the low hand lean back. He just says basically that can't work on him, and I believe it. Basically I don't really see anyone hanging him up in that angle. You can I feel you could if you're super strong, right, if you're Eddie or I don't know, Alexander, you could definitely get that stop and maybe pin him a couple times. But over the course of practice, especially if you try to hold it there, he always finds a way to sink it in. And once he sinks it in, like, his wrist doesn't really go back anymore. So that's tough. Like, I don't have many lanes. I was thinking if, like, basically I feel like I need to sort of bait him into making mistakes to try and get through. I mean, at least the way right now our strengths are balanced. I was thinking maybe if I can get him to commit to a top roll like a lot and then like respond perfectly and he overextends, I can crack him slightly, right? Or sort of the other way, get him to commit too much inside. That way I can sort of go through his arm like slightly more if he supinates. But that's honestly like just contingent on him overextending. Like I have an idea of like what I can do if he does overextend, but if he doesn't, like it's just based off strengths, like I can't, there's not much I can do. Cause like it's even like my main stop, like if I can't control center, that's like my like go-to right now, and it's working quite well against most people, but it just completely doesn't work at all with Lex. So, but anyways, yeah. Then I pulled with Issa, and my like sort of low hand thing felt really good against him hooking me. And he has hooked me in the past, but this time he hooked me from the beginning, which like I was really surprised because I was all ready to, like in the setup, I was like, okay, I got to work on my counter top rolling, and then I was like thinking about my grip, and all of a sudden he just comes in and like carves. I'm like, whoa, not expecting that at all. So he was telling me how his elbow feels really good, and he's basically hooking a lot, which is great, because I feel like, one, it's like I feel like Issa was only top row for the longest time, and you need to be versatile, and like all matches end in a hook, especially long ones. So I feel like it's better to get used to being there. Like even as desperately as I'm working on to not like to become harder to hook, like I know, and this is I feel so important for arm wrestlers that are not like really, really good, because I think you need to be like elite to be able to confidently say like you can stay out of most people's hook set. Like I'll be hooked pretty easily by any strong arm wrestler. Like it's true. Like it's like even as hard as I'm trying, like I feel like the proficiency you need, or some kind of super like advantageous like genetics, like leverage, like either or, to become really unhookable, I feel like is such a high barrier. Almost everyone ends up getting hooked. But yeah, so on right with Issa, I felt great, but for sure I felt on the third one we had, I think I was sort of playing it cool, but my pronator was really burning, and I was worried that it's like it was gonna go, and it doesn't look it, but in my mind I was like, damn, like I'm like this thing is gassing quick, and I felt like I couldn't really hold it much longer, but he stopped after. So yeah, I feel there are just certain positions where your pronator is just working the entire time, like it's actually like under constant pressure, like, and I think it's just very specific, because a lot of positions I feel it's not like fully engaged and I can rest a little bit, but just certain spots, and if I end up in those spots and certain spots, and also certain balances of strength, right? Because if it's got to be like just balanced enough where I can actually fight their wrist with my pronation strength wise. But yeah, if it sits there for like 10 seconds, like 2 or 3 times, I feel like I'm really burnt after, and I would like to be able to do that a little bit longer. So maybe it'll come with more training and more volume, but that's just something I noticed. And then I pulled with Eddie. I didn't want to pull him at first. I was like, you're too strong, and I was feeling that, it would just be me pulling like a brick wall, and I would just tire, and like I wouldn't move him and it wouldn't be fun. But I feel like because I was complaining so much, he was really letting me work, and he was like, this is just a workout, like, and he was letting me, like, he was basically letting me have a little bit of a pronation purchase each time so I could work instead of just cupping me in. Yeah, especially on right, I just let me get to my spot, and then basically just sort of not really do wrist curls, but just kind of let his wrist go a little bit and then keep it flat, like just to the point where it wouldn't overwhelm me, which is like a great workout for sure. It's like you definitely feel pretty helpless when you realize what's going on, sort of pretty similarly to how you would feel if you're just stonewalled at center, but at least you're working in a much more like effective position for training. Like getting stonewalled at center, actually, yeah, like just in terms of like the workout you're getting, I feel like maybe isn't the best. You want to stonewall someone in a position that they're very efficient in. Actually, that's such a good point, and I feel like that's not talked about enough, because I feel like usually the prescription is you want to get them to their strongest spot, then you can work, not you want to get them to their strongest spot and then stonewall them, right? Like it's usually that the strong guy will let him get into the strong spot and then rip him out. Like that's kind of what most people would do. So I never really thought about that. But anyway, yeah, on the left, he was telling me to sort of go back more, because I was following him when he like dragged back a little bit, and like I feel like I got what he was saying. So I feel like certain pulls like I had to, otherwise I was going to lose my pronation if I didn't follow his drag, and if I lost that connection, I had literally nothing. Like I couldn't engage really with him in any way. I had to stay out. But for sure, like I do sometimes like forget to engage I'm too scared to drag, and because I think yes, it's a mistake to drag in certain positions, but sometimes I don't know whether I don't know for sure. Like sometimes if I drag, it might actually work, right? But I'm just scared of the possibility of it not working so much that usually I'll just wait at the front until I can like know for sure, where sometimes me taking that chance might maximize like my effectiveness, right? So and then on left I was asking him to top roll me also, and I was trying to do the like rise with him and then also try my like low hand drag against it, and actually both felt pretty decent. And I was wondering about like if I should just start doing that against posting styles too on my left, because my riser feels so terrible against just fighting that top strap normally. Maybe that low hand style might be even better. I'm not sure. I feel like I'll have to experiment a little bit. Yeah, and I think I give up on not using the Zenums. Like it's too hard. So Brad came. I didn't realize that he was going to come. He had the, what is it called, AWC event last night. Actually, I was watching a podcast recently with Coach Ray and Devin and Robert Baxter. It might have been, was it Devin? Wait, but that doesn't, well, I don't remember which one it was, but no, Devin wasn't on it, but Coach Ray was on it. It doesn't matter, but they were talking about Jordan. They were like predicting the East versus West matches, and they were talking about Jordan, and they were like, oh, when was this guy's last match? And they were talking about, oh, like he had a war with Devin. And then Coach Ray goes, yes, in Canada at AWC event. I'm like, yo, the disrespect on my guy Umesh, his name, like AWC, like, let's, like, that was crazy. Like, I mean, I understand why you would confuse it, but for Umesh to have, like, organized an event like that, which was amazing, and then literally people just attribute it to like a completely different random organization. It was insane. And like that was I was listening and I'm like, damn, like did you just really call that it's Be Strong Arm Wrestling, man. Anyways, but shit. Okay, I pulled with Brad. Like Brad was super. Well, he said he pulled until 6 a.m. The night before, after the event, and then on right, he said he had an injury, wrist injury from some guy at practice, like pressing him when he wasn't like paying attention. I'm assuming it's one of those like out of strap, like or in strap, but like push your wrist down on the joint kind of thing. But I'm not sure. But he basically just said it was tweaked and then pulled a little bit and then was like, yeah, I can't pull anymore. But I just went up to him and I'm like, yeah, like I'm not that strong. Like, do you have any like technique tips? Like, I'll just do my thing and just let me know. And then he actually was like, not like I don't really have much. Like he told me to maybe not conform my body so much, which I think I sort of get what he's saying, but I'll have to like be conscious of that when I'm pulling next time, and then see like what I'm actually doing, like, and if I weren't to do it, like how would that feel to be able to like really learn it. But and then we pulled left. His left, I feel like he would like, it's not really like he's obviously not like trying, but he had like a 10-minute like crazy match with Jason right before, and I feel like he was really gassed from that too. But no, but it was cool because at first I was like, I'm not gonna pull him because he's too strong, and then when he got there I was like why wouldn't I? And he had nice things to say about my technique, so yeah, I'm glad I pulled him. And then we just had like a freaking lineup of people just waiting to get like technique advice, and it was actually really cool because it does, like when he tells people stuff, like it actually like does impact, like influence the way they pull. Like Brendan told me that a lot of his approach to arm wrestling is based off the advice he got from Brad last time, and I feel like it is really like it's actually helpful, and I like a lot of his takes. I feel like I've had like similar opinions about a lot of things. Like for example, he talks always about like not losing the arm angle and not like dragging like your elbow back. And I've always said that that's like the number one thing that like peeves me about like beginners, is dragging back without control and just giving up their arm angle, giving up their pronation, everything. And he was also actually, one thing that I thought was really interesting was he was talking about some techniques are like tiered. So like he was saying like the Mindaga's technique is like S tier, and then like some other techniques are like B tier, and basically they're just like each technique can bring you to a certain level, right? So some techniques, there's no limit to how high it can take you. Like some techniques, like there's like an upper limit to how good you can get just with that technique. And I'm like, that makes so much sense. And I've actually been thinking about that a lot recently. Like if you've talked to me about this, like you'll know that I've been talking badly about like supinating techniques like for a while, being like, you know, like I feel like you just stop improving. That's actually literally basically what I've been thinking for a long time about the long-term investment of like going for the right technique where the payoff is much greater. So anyways, I feel like pretty like validated in some of these takes that I had. And that I pulled with Tim, who apparently was one of the people in the famous UAL with Bill Collins like double King's Boot photo, and he also, I'm sure, after pulled last night, and he had some like death wars with Lex just before pulling me. He pulled a bunch of people, so when I pulled him I could just tell how tired he was. Like sometimes you can just feel how gassed someone is. So like I feel a little bit bad asking him to pull. I feel like he was already like out of breath when I asked if he wanted to pull, and also I'm like posting it, but you know, it's just practice. And I feel like if you just look at the guy, like I'm pretty, like even if he was tired, I was like I don't know, I didn't feel like I was like I feel like he was like good enough for me to be able to pull him when he's tired, and not feel bad about it basically. But yeah, actually that's pretty much it.
for the video. I'll post the other clips I have with Brad in a separate video. So, yeah, thanks.